Welcome back to the Crochet Corrado. So my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today is the Velvet Cables Crochet Pocket Shawl. This picture does not do this justice in the way that the stitch work is working out. It's a beautiful pocket shawl, but the stitch work is absolutely amazing, and today I'm going to be using a 4-ply worsted yarn so that you can see the stitches clearly. But this here is using Bernat Velvet in the color Mushroom. 4 balls is what it takes to do this, and let me explain what we're going to be doing today, because this is actually a sequential in steps in order to do it, and I do have some advice because I have been practicing too. When we go to look at the shawl, there is cable working that you see here, and this is at the pocket itself. So this is my practice. We have the cables, we have the Trinity stitch, you have the edges. Now on the pockets you have these front post double crochets that are here, and those are popping up to make the ridging effect. These are not, this particular part is not on the shawl itself, it's only on the pockets just to give it more interest. So it's a really neat idea. So the cables are only on the ends of the actual shawl itself. So when you look at the shawl, you'll see the cable, it's by the neckline here, and then there's another set of cables on the back side here as it comes around the model. Now when you're doing a sample like this, what happens is if you could do the whole thing, like say you do like 80 inches of this and you do it like this, the cables will appear upside down on the opposite side of the body. So what's happening here is that you're looking at 2 panels and they're being joined with the whip stitch at the back of the neck, where it's just being joined, and it will be nice and hidden if you do an invisible join. So what you're looking at is 2 panels that are coming down, and the pockets are adjustable. So if you want your pockets to be at a different height, you can just try it on, see where it's gonna land, and then mark it where you would like your pockets, and those are sewn on afterwards. So there is diagrams that are available to you. They're on page number 2. There's 2 sets. This here is for the pocket, the bottom one, and this is for the main shawl itself. So on page number 2 you're gonna find the diagrams, and you'll see that there's 2. This one here is the pocket, so you'll notice that you have the ribbing stitches that you'll see on the pocket. They don't exist here on the shawl, so if you look at that, it's missing. So when you're looking at this particular one here on the shawl itself, there's 3 stitches before the cabling starts, and then this is kind of like in sets of 2 plus 1, then going all the way across, and you just have to kind of worry about just making sure that the last 9 stitches are just free and available for you for when you do the cabling. So it's a really nice easy way to get yourself back on track just in case you have to. For the pocket here, we're going to have like the first stitch, and then there's gonna be some ribbing that will happen, and then 2 just regular half double crochets, and then your cabling, and then this will line up all the way, and there's 11 stitches between here and the end on both sides. So that's something that you can consider as well. When I was doing the Trinity stitch in the large shawl sample, I noticed that there was 27 Trinity stitches that will make that up going all the way across, and I wanted to record that for my own pleasure. So today I'm going to take you through, and my personal advice to you is this. So my advice to you is do the pockets first. You'll get used to doing the cabling, and you'll notice that the cabling kind of comes out and it's opposite to each other. Now the one that's on the one side is harder to do because of the access point, but it's still doable. So if you really want the easy way out, and it's gonna cause you to quit, you can do both cables like the very first one. That is much easier than this one, and so they will both look exactly identical. So you will not have the look where they come out like this, but they will both look like this set of cabling on this side. So that's something that you can decide for yourself. If you feel you're gonna quit because this side is too hard, just do it like this, and if somebody's gonna judge you on that, then too bad. So let's begin, and we're going to start our story on the pockets to begin. So let's begin to do the pockets. The whole project requires the Bernat Velvet and a 5.5mm size I crochet hook today. I'm just using a 6mm size J crochet hook today, and I'm just using some fun spare yarn. So let's begin. You're going to chain 33. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go all the way to 33. Maybe back here in just a moment. Let's do row number 1 of the pocket. Let's go third chain from the hook, sorry. So go back 1, 2, go to the 3rd. Get the back hump of the chain itself and half double crochet. The chains that we just skipped over will not be counting as a stitch in the future, so don't worry about that. So on the back hump of the chain going all the way across, please half double crochet, and I'll see you back here in just a moment. So I'm coming up to the end of row number 1, and I got a half double crochet in each all the way. So we're going to turn and go on to row number 2. Row number 2 is going to be the setup basically for this, and rows number 2 through 5 is the repeat pattern for the whole pocket area. So let's begin number 2. So now we're going to chain 2, which will not count as a stitch, and then you're going to half double crochet in the very first one. Now the next one here is going to be a front post double crochet that we're about to do. So to do that, around the next post you're just gonna wrap the hook and going into the side of the post and pick it up and pull through and pull through 2 and 2. That's a front post double crochet, and you'll do those in the next one so you have at least 2 there. So this is now going to strategize ourselves. We're now looking at the right side of the project because this is popping out the good side. The next 2 stitches in a row, they're each going to be a half double crochet. So starting in the very next one, so those ones that I were just in, I have to count those, so 1 and 2, so the next stitch is actually right here. Okay, so just lean it forward if you're not sure, and it's the one that's the third away, and you're gonna half double crochet that one plus the next one in a row. Okay, it feels like it's wrong, but you have to trust in the system. So now we're going to do the cable work. So the first cable that we're about to do is easier than the second cable. So if the second one's kind of boggling your mind a little bit, you can do both the cables the same way. It's up to you. So you're gonna wrap the hook twice. It's a treble, and you're gonna skip the next 3 and go to the 4th, and then go and look down at the post of the 4th one, and you're gonna go into the side of the post, so it's a front post treble, and you're just gonna treble all the way back, and you'll do that one plus the next 2 in a row. So just going into the next one available, and then finally one more time. Now we have to go back and get the ones that we jumped over. Okay, so we have to get those 3. So 1, 2 and 3. So these ones here are going to cross in front of these, which are so much easier to access than the other side, and that's why I'm saying there's a difference. So wrap in the hook twice, come to the first one that you skipped, and just do that one. See, we're locating these for the very first time, so in the future you'll already know where those are. So you're just going to wrap it and go into the next one available, and then wrap and get the third one. Just peel things back if you don't see it. So these cables or these trebles should appear in front of the other ones. On the other side, these cables will be behind the project, which is harder to access, but it's still doable. We're now going to begin and start the Trinity stitch. So starting in the next stitch here is the first one, and it's a half double crochet. So that's gonna stand alone by itself. Now the Trinity is gonna now move us forward until we get to the last 9 stitches. So to do the Trinity, you're gonna wrap the hook and go into the same stitch you were just in and pull through and hold. You're gonna do the next 2 exact same way. So just wrap and into the next stitch, pull through and hold. The next one, wrap and into the next one, pull through and hold. And now you're gonna pull through everything. In the future you're going to be playing in gap spaces, so we're just locating them for the first time. And now you're gonna chain 1 and then do the next Trinity. So the Trinity is based on using the same one as the last one, so this stitch. So going in, pull through, the next one that's empty, pull through, and the next one after that. It's almost like a star stitch. Okay, and then pull through all of it, and then chain 1 to move on. So the next one starts in the same one of the last one's finishing. So going in, the next one, and the next one, and then pull through all of it, and then chain 1 to finish. So they're not always gonna be chain 1 to finish. It's gonna be the very last Trinity that you don't do that on. So what you are looking for is the last 9 stitches, which could be coming up really shortly. And I'm gonna count just to make sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So this is actually technically the last time you do the Trinity. So you're not going to chain 1, but you're going to put in a half double crochet in the same one as the last one to finalize that section. So this is what it will look like in the middle. So to continue along, you're now going to do another cable. So you're gonna wrap the hook twice, skip in the first 3, and then go into the 4th as a front post treble, and you're gonna do the next 2 like that too. And finally it's the third one. Now you have to come back and get the ones that you jumped over. The problem is that you have to access it from behind, so it's a little awkward here for me and even on camera. So you should, and I think I got it this time. It's harder the first time we're going through this because you're establishing these stitches for the first time. So I'm just checking, and I do have that one, so the other two are empty. So I'm going to focus on the other two now. So from the behind, I'm gonna come in and get the other one. And then I'm gonna get my last one. And so those were accessed from behind. So now that those three are done, you're gonna continue along. And so we have to, at this point, get in 2 half double crochets and 2 front post double crochets and 1 half double crochet at the very end. So starting in the very first stitch, you're gonna put in 2 half double crochets. So 1 and 2, and then 2 front post double crochets, and then finally the last stitch here will be a half double crochet to finish, and that goes all the way across. So now we've just established the cables and the Trinity stitch, and it should get much easier from here. Let's move on to row number 3. So rows number 2 is the only time you have to do the crisscrossing. The rest of it is actually really quite easy to do. So it's just every time you have to do this, and you don't have to do it that often here on the pocket, and on the shawl you only have to do it, I think it's every 4th row as well. So turning your work, and let's move on to row number 3, and you're going to chain 2, which will not count as a stitch, and you are going to half double crochet in the first one. Now the next one here, these here are the front post doubles from before, so we want to keep it so that the other side is the right side, so we're gonna access those and make those a back post double crochet this time to keep the ribbing on the one side of the project. So these two are back post double crochet. The next 2 stitches are just a half double crochet each, and then we're back to this cabling. So to keep the cabling accurate, the first 3, everything is a back post double crochet here, so the first 3 are back post double crochets. So just peel it so you can see it if you don't. So just kind of using your fingers separate them out, and you're making those each a back post double crochet. It's the 3rd one in a row that always gets me. It's right here. So you gotta see how it wants to come in the front, you just want to push it out to the back. Okay, and now the other 3 are sitting right here. So just kind of peel it and get those 3 as a back post double crochet. The wonderful thing about this design, the crisscross is always done on the good side, so you can always see it happening in real time. Everything else here is a back post, is nice and easy. So we're now going to start the Trinity stitch, and now this is when it gets fun. So the first 2, we're just gonna go into the first one here, and it's gonna be a half double crochet by itself. Now we're gonna do the Trinity using this stitch, and this chain 1 space. It's gonna get easier now. So you go in there, you go into the stitch, you go into the space, and then pull through all of it and chain 1 and move on. So everything is now by the space and the stitches from this point. So you're gonna go into the space first, because that's where the last one finished. You're gonna go into the stitch, and then you're gonna go into the next space, and then pull through everything and chain 1 to finish. So you don't chain 1 on the very last one of this section. So starting in the next space, the stitch, and the next space, chain 1, so space, stitch, and space, chain 1, so space, stitch, and this is the final one. So then the next one is not a space, it's actually a stitch, and then pull through everything, and you're not gonna chain 1, but you are going to half double crochet in the same one as the last one. And then that is the Trinity finished, and now you're back onto these cables. So each one is a back post double crochet like before. Okay, so these are the next 3. So just kind of peel them and put them into your path so you can get them. And then finally you're on the other side. So on the other side here we have 2 half double crochets in a row. So we have 1 and 2. The next 2 are these posts. You'll keep those as a back post double crochet. And then so both of them are like that, and then the very last stitch is going to be a half double crochet as regular. And this is row number 3, and when you turn it around you can see how it looks. And let's move on to row number 4 next. In row number 4 we're going to maintain exactly what we see. We don't have a crisscross going on at all. That's not until number 2 when it comes back around again. So 4 and 5 we're still just maintaining. So we're going to chain 2, and then the first one is a half double crochet into the same one. And then the next 2 you can see that they are ridges, so keep those as a front post double crochet now. And then the next 2 are half double crochets. Now we're back on these cables. So all 6 of them will be a front post double crochet. See, it gets a lot easier once you get more in your hand and you can start seeing where all the stitches are coming out. Okay. So now we are going to move on to the Trinity stitch. So look for the space, look for the stitch, and then this is a half double crochet right before it. So starting in the first one, half double crochet by itself, and then using that same one plus then the stitch plus then the next gap, and there's your Trinity. And now we're gonna move on. So you're gonna chain up 1 using the space, the stitch, and the space, and then chain 1 to move on. So the only time you don't move use that chain 1 is when you're on the very last one. So this is the very last one, so there's no space to go into, so you're gonna go into, you went into the stitch and now you have to go into the half double crochet. You do not chain 1, but you will half double crochet in the same one as the last one. And now you're gonna maintain these cables. So there's 6 in a row that are each front post double crochet. And once you get those 6 done, there is 2 half double crochets right after it. Then you have your ribbing, so those will be front post double crochets as well. And then you have a half double crochet left at the end. And that will conclude row number 4. So we're on the back side again, and we're gonna just maintain what we see. So it's gonna be back post double crocheting for everything that you have that needs a ribbing or needs these cables. Starting in the first 2, just chain 2, half double crochet. Okay, these here, keep them on the front side, so you're gonna make those as a back post double crochet this time. And then we know that there's 2 half double crochets before the cables. So in the cables you're making those as a front, back post double crochet across. So you want to make sure you get all 6 of them, and then you're ready to move on with the Trinity stitch. So starting in the next one, so you start in your half double crochet first, and then start the Trinity in the same one, then stitch, and then the gap. Chain 1 and then move on. So gap, stitch, gap, and you'll do that all the way with the chain 1. That will separate them except for the very last one, of course. So this is the last one. So I'm going to go into the half double crochet as my third one instead of a space. And then there's no chain 1 but just half double crochet in the same last one. Now you're in the cables again, so each one of the 6 are back post double crochet. The next 2 in a row that we know of, right, there are going to be is a half double crochet, and then there's the ribbing, so we're gonna make those as a back post double crochet to keep it there, and then there's a half double crochet right in the end. Sorry, that was a back post double, and then a half double crochet right in the end. So this is technically the end of number 5, and this is where you're going to finish in the future as row number 5. So you're going to do the pockets now from rows number 2 through 5 over and over and over until you get to 9 inches tall. So you want a tape measure to measure that. So right where I'm sitting right now would be the end of the top of the pocket. I am going to take you through row number 6 on the diagram, which is the same as row number 2, just to make sure that you got it, and what we're going to do is do that next, and just to make sure. So I am going to show you row number 2 one more time. So back to row number 2, after you finish number 5, you're going to do the cabling, but you are going to do the crisscross like you had done it before. So you're going to chain 2 and half double crochet in the first one, and this crossing over happens on the good side so you can at least see it. So the next 2 are front post double, and then we know the next 2 are a half double. So that's consistent throughout the whole thing. Now we want to cross over, so we're going to ignore the first 3 and go to the 4th, and you'll do a front post treble in the 4th one away, and you'll do all 3 like that. Now you're going to want to come back to the ones. It's so much easier to see them now, isn't it? Before we were having to really count, but now it's clearly obvious where those cables are. So you're gonna come back to the first one, and so we're crossing over the front side of the work, which is much easier. So then this cable should be over top, which it is. Starting in the very next one, you're going to half double crochet, and you're gonna do your trinity. So that's a standalone. So start your trinity now. I was really intimidated with this trinity stitch, and once I understood that there's gaps to play with, oh my god, what a deal, what a game changer for me on just being able to follow this much easier, because I thought I was gonna have to obsessively count throughout the whole thing, and I don't have to, and on the shawl that's a great thing not to have to do. So I only really have to worry about the cabling, if you want to call it a worry. So this is the last one, so then I go into last half double crochet. I do not chain 1, and I'm half double crocheting on top. So we're now going to do your cable. So you're going to skip the first 3 and do the next. And like before, the next set of cables that we're about to do will be accessed from behind. Okay, so we're gonna have to get these from behind, but it's much easier now that you can see it. So you're just gonna jump it in behind, just shift the project, and just using your fingers being able to see it. So it's this one right there. I find it's just that first one, and then once you get it, it kind of pulls backward, and then the rest are easier to see. So do the next one. Now whether it's easier to see on camera, that's another big question, isn't it? Because I'm gonna get a comment, I never saw where you went. I'm like, you gotta trust yourself. Now it'd be better if you could wrap the hook the right number of times before you make all that effort, right? So those 3 just got covered. Yep. So those are in the back, so we know that the next 2 in a row are half double crochets, and then the next 2 are front post doubles, and then the last one's a half double. And this was actually just finishing up row number 2. So you can see that we just did a crossover, and so you will continue that. So you'll do 3, 4 and 5 again, and then repeat back from 2, 3, 4, 5 until this panel is 9 inches tall, where you will finish off, and that will be the end of the story. So I am going to pull this out back to number 5 just to have clarity, and I want to show you how to fasten the yarn off with the tapestry needle at this next point. When you're ready to fasten everything off, you want to just come into the last stitch and just pull through so that it kind of locks it, and then you're gonna throw this through a tapestry needle. I want you to favor the back side of the work. You can tell which one the cables are on the back. The other side doesn't look nearly the same. So just dragging the yarn through the back, and when you pull it, don't change the shape. Just keep it taut but not reefing down on it, and go back and forth a total of 3 times to make that work. Okay, and we're gonna move on to the shawl. So you want to do all your loose ends like that whenever you change your yarns. It's just much easier, and you'll also want to do the beginning one as well. So here's the shawl area here. This is actually the real size, and we're going to start off and we're going to do some ribbing. It's nice and thick here, and then we're going to then progress into doing the cabling on both sides that you see. Let me just fold it up a little bit. So you'll have the cables on both sides here, and then the Trinity stitch in the middle. So I counted that I had 27 of these Trinity stitches in a row, and once I had that established the first time, it was just made it a lot more easier, and then you're just gonna play within the spaces anyway, and it becomes really quite easy. So you're just going to repeat a set number of rows. I'm only gonna do a little small swatch with you today, just enough to show you the cabling and the Trinity in the middle, because the fact is that this is all a repeat. So you have to make 2 of these panels. So the panels are a total of about 32 inches, and then right at the top of the panel we're going to do a whip stitch to join them. And so this is the back of the person's neck, and so this will hang out one side, the other will hang out the other, and the cabling will look like it's going across the whole thing. So it's got kind of a neat effect. You also have your pockets, so the pockets will be applied when you're ready, and this is what it looks like. So the pockets will end on row number 5, and so you'll sew those down, so you can actually position that like put this around you or whatever, and decide where you want your pockets to be, and then you can move it up or down the shawl depending on your arm length. So without further ado, I am going to do a small swatch with you. Let's take you back to the diagram, and then we're gonna move on. Coming back to the diagram, what we have here is that we have 9 stitches at the beginning are all dedicated to the cabling. There is no ribbing that is done between the cabling and the edge, and you'll see that on both sides, and it's just faded out here because there's a distance in between. So as we start and you're going to crochet the set number of stitches that you would like to do, that's just something that you can keep in mind. I'm only gonna do a small swatch with you to cover both of these cables and a little bit of the Trinity in the middle, because the middle is all the same all the way throughout this whole thing. And so you will see here that we're going to start the ribbing on row number 2 and 3, and it says repeat for ribbing. So we're gonna repeat 2 and 3 one more time, and then we're going to jump in, and then rows number 1 through 4 is the repeat, then going all the way to the 32 inches, and it's just showing you number 5, which is the same as number 1, just to make it clear on where you need to go. So let's begin, and let's start the shawl. Okay, using the same size hook and the same yarn, you're going to start off, and you can chain 75 to start, and I'm just gonna do a small swatch with you. So just do your 75. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and do 75 for me. Meet me back here in just a moment. So now that you have your 75 on here, I just have a small swatch here, and I am going to, and you need to as well, set our 3rd chain from the hook. So just count it back. So 1 and 2, turn it over and get the back hump of the chain, and I want you to half double crochet across. This is very much how we started the pocket. So half double crochet across your chain, and meet me back here in just a moment. So once you come all the way across your shawl, it'll obviously be much bigger than this. You're gonna turn your work, and let's officially begin row number 2. In row number 2, we're going to start the ribbing. In row number 2, we're going to chain 2, which will not count as a stitch, and in the same post right below, you want to make that as a front post double crochet. So coming around the outside of it and back through the post, just make that as a front post double crochet, and then the next one is a back post double crochet. So just wrapping, come from the back, stay on the back, and make that as a double crochet. Okay, so the next one is a front, and then the next one is a back. And if your stitch counts are right, the very last stitch will be a front post double crochet. Please do this all the way across for row number 2. When you come all the way across the very last one, it appears that there's 2 stitches. Remember that the first chain 2 did not count as a stitch, so just make sure you just kind of go around both of those. So just kind of sandwich them together, and you're just doing that. Okay, and then you are just going to turn and then begin row number 3. So in row number 3 we're going to keep the ribbing the same as what you already see. So you're gonna chain 2, and this time it'll be a back post double crochet in the first one because it's on the back side. So going around the back part of that, and then this next one's in the front, so you're gonna keep that in the front. So what's on the front, keep on the front. What's on the back, keep on the back, and you'll do that all the way across to keep the ribbing in play. So you're going to move on, and this is row number 3, and we have to do rows number 2 and 3 one more time after this. So just finished off row number 3. I want you to do rows number 2 and 3 one more time, and then meet me back here. So what you see on the back, keep on the back, and what's on the front, keep on the front. So please do that. So when we go to start off this time, we're back on row number 2, so this will be on the front side, and then the next one's on the back, and you can clearly see that as well. So do rows number 2 and 3 one more time, and meet me back here, and we'll start the fun stuff of the interior of the shawl. Okay, so let's pretend we've gone through the whole span of the shawl. Now we have the ribbing all based in. So now we're going to start with rows number 1 through 4, and you're going to finish 1 through 4 all the way until 32 inches, and 32 inches is right from the base of this all the way to the top. So let's begin row number 1. So row number 1 we're gonna start off with some half double crochets. We're gonna throw in some cabling. We're gonna get your trinity in, cable, and then the remaining half double crochets. Let's begin row number 1. So let's begin row number 1. We're going to chain up 1, 2, so chain up 2 and put 3 half double crochets in a row. There will always be 3 half double crochets in a row on the beginning and the end of this section for the shawl. So what we need to do now is that we need to skip the next 3 of those stitches and then go to the 3 after that, and we're going to put in the front post trebles. So now that I've done the pocket first, I find myself I can blaze through this pretty quickly because I understand it. So I'm glad I was able to do that. Okay, so you're gonna do that, and then you're gonna come back to the ones that you had to skip over, and you can go in the front. And again, it's like before, if you're finding the one on the other side going in the back is harder, then you can do this as well. I'm not sure if people really would judge you on that. If they didn't know, they wouldn't know, right? Okay, so now that we have the crisscross done, you're gonna come into the very next stitch that's available to you, and you are going to put in your first half double crochet and then start your trinity up. So the goal is that when you come to the other side, the last 9 stitches should be the actual cable work itself. So just kind of work that out in your head. So just start your trinity, so starting in the first one of the same last one, and then just picking up the next 3 in a row, and then chain 1. So then start in the same one as the last one, and then the next 2 in a row, and then chain 1, and you're gonna do this all the way across except for the very final 9. So I'm gonna check it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. There's the 9th. So this is technically the last one. So I'm not gonna chain 1, and I'm just gonna half double crochet. So that will happen to you as well. So in the last 9 you're gonna skip the next 3 in a row, and you're going to front post treble the next 3. And like before, the next 3 have to be accessed from behind unless you decide otherwise. Okay, so let's get the ones and get in from behind. If you don't want to do that, then just access it from the front and just kind of manipulate it and get your 3 that you skipped just by going partially through the project on the back side. This is actually take number 2 for me. I actually missed one of them. and it's the ribbing makes it a little more challenging to get that extra one that you need. So it's this one that right here is what I need. Got it. Okay, so I have my 3 in a row, and then the final last 3 stitches are half double crochet, and that will conclude off row number 1. And then turn your work and let's start row number 2. So let's begin row number 2. So 2, 3, and 4 are just going to be doing back post or front post double crochets. You don't have to worry about doing that crisscross. So chain up 2 doesn't count as anything, and we know that the first 3 in a row are half double crochet. Now the cable work that's next, which is 6 stitches, because we're looking at the back of the project now, the next 6 in a row will be a back post double crochet. So keep those cables in order. Just use your fingers to ply them apart from each other if you have to. Very first time you're kind of going through them, they kind of bunch together until you really get the pattern established. So now that you got the 6 done, you start the trinity. So you start in the next half double crochet, the next stitch, and then the space. So it's like it was before on the pocket. So now that the 6 are done, you're gonna half double crochet in the next, and then the trinity starts from there and it gets the next stitch and then a gap space. It's like it was on the pocket. And then chain 1 and move on. So it's gonna be the space, the stitch, and the space. Then chain 1. So you're doing this all the way until the trinity runs out. The last trinity you do not chain 1 after the end of it. So just keep an eye on it as you're going. So I'm not counting the number of stitches. So okay, so there's no trinity after this, so I just went into the stitch. So I have to finish the 3rd one in the half double crochet and pull it, and then half double crochet in the same one as the last one. So now continuing on these cables, back post double crochet each of those. And then half double crochet the last 3 in a row, and that was officially row number 2. Let's move on to row number 3. We're looking at the good side of the work. You can see the cabling is all in front. You're going to chain 2 and half double crochet the first 3 as always. Your cabling is next, so just the 6, keep them as a front post double crochet. You don't need to cross them over at all. So you see you don't really have to worry about those cabling too much. Okay, that's in. So the next one is half double crochet by itself, and then you start with that same one plus then the stitch plus then the gapping space for the trinity. Chain 1 to move on. So this is the last one before the edge, so then the 3rd one is actually in the top of the last half double crochet. You do not chain 1, but you will half double crochet in the same last stitch. And then these cabling are back, so you're just gonna keep them as a front post double. So you can see that they get more and more defined as you're blasting your way through. And then finally the last 3 are half double crochet. Okay, so let's move on to number 4, which is the final of this repeating, and then we'll talk from that point. So turn your work and go to 4. So row 4 is the same as row number 2, so you're just chaining up 2. You put in your 3 half double crochets in the beginning, and I'm just gonna summarize here because you already know what you're doing. These are gonna be back post double crochets. The 6 you're gonna do your turnities, your back post double crochet in the 6, and then the last 3 are half double crochets. This is the same as row number 2. So get that done, and you are then going to repeat then rows 1 through 4 over and over and over until it's approximately 32 inches long. So let's talk assembly. So you will have 2 panels that are both about 32 inches, and they're both finishing on row number 4. So when you finish on row number 4, what's gonna happen is that these here are going to align with each other, so it'll look like it's seamless other than what you see in the color. So what you can do now at this point is you need to put them together. So once you have the lengths done, you can put them together with the invisible join. So here's what I'm going to recommend, and you're going to need a tapestry needle and then whatever color you're using. In my case, because I have 2 different colors, if I use the same color it'd pretty much be invisible. So you want to cut a long enough strand so you can span the whole width and actually get it sewing into position, and you want to create a slip knot on the one side. So you will want to start on an edge and then work your way all the way, but in my case here, because it's just a sample, I'm just gonna start right here on the top of the screen. So I just want to grab the one side and match the stitches, so when you're on the edge the stitches should match each other. So you're just gonna come across, and that slip knot that I did, you just want to put that through, and you're gonna pull that, and that slip knot is gonna help lock it into position. And if you leave the tail long enough, then you can use your tapestry needle to hide that in too. So advancing to the next stitch, you can go here to the next one and just join it. This is called the whip stitch. So I would not single crochet this thing shut, but if you do this you'll have a nice kind of like a seamless join with the whip stitching technique at the end. So you'll go all the way down your panel like that. So I've just come all the way across. So what I want to do is at the very end here I want to have it so that it will tie itself into a knot, so it helps it lock. Okay, so just pulling it through, and then I turn it to the underside, and like I showed before with just weaving in the ends, I would just go back and forth on the seam line area just a total of 3 times. So if you're using the same color you will never see this here, but definitely go the 3 times. And then they're officially joined, and then you're good to go. So there is no border for this whole thing, so the outside edge will just be the same, and it will line up, and you just gotta stretch it out, and then the cabling will go across just like you see. So let's talk pockets next. So let's talk pockets. So you're gonna want to position it so it's about halfway. If you want to try it on and move it, now's your chance to do it. Make sure that you have it equal on both sides though, if that matters to you. So you're going to start off with the strand. You can attach it already if you wish, or you can add it to it, very much like that slip stitching like I just showed you with the slip knot. So when I like to sew things, I'm just gonna move it down just for tutorial reasons, but when I like to go in, I like to go in and I like just to grab a few of the strands that are on this side. I don't like to go all the way through the project. So just grabbing a few strands and then just flipping the outside chain onto this thing, and so it'll grab on. So you're going to just go back to the project. So if you were using a different color you would never see this color on the other side if you were to flip it over. So just going in a few strands, and all you're just doing is tracing around your pocket, and you may want to pin it down to your project if it's up to you. You could use stitch markers, and you're just going to trace all the way down on 3 sides of the pocket. Now on the one pocket shawl I actually went in about 1 inch on both sides here, and therefore if it's flying around it gives a bit of a blocker. So if you had something in your pocket, maybe something like this, and it was gonna pop out, if you just actually put in a few extra stitches right here, when it's in the inside of the pocket, it won't want to pop out because it's gonna get caught. So it's up to you on how you would like to do it, and it's actually a really neat idea. You're gonna follow it around. You will just fasten off your yarn very much like I did with the seam line here of just going back and forth, and it's actually a really neat idea. So it's actually a really beautiful particular project, and the stitch work is amazing, and I think you're gonna have some fun. So this is it today. This is the Crochet Velvet Cable Pocket Shawl, and hopefully you've enjoyed today. Have a good day, and we hope to see you again real soon.